Hello, my lovely people, my Illuminars and Mysterians, and this is, yes, the illumANark in Shadow of Mordor. We are looking for some ultimate orc-slaying madness! And, yes, so we have ravaged for intelligence many an orc, seeking, hunting, and wanting to find all the intelligence necessary to slay out all the war chieftains. This is part one of my ultimate orc-slaying madness collection. We're going to try to get through, and I know I have about 20 minutes of gameplay footage here, with a couple of quick cuts because of the fact that I don't think anybody wants to see me just running around. But of course, blazing across the universe and striking out at evil is, yes, one of the things that everybody likes to see. And yes, so I try to brand as many orcs as I can, especially archers. Archers like tall places, and they like places where they can get a good shot on stuff. Other than that, I really enjoy taking over, in general, the big brutish guys, because they are the highest hit points, highest just general capacity. But with Caragors coming, it's time to move on. It's time to move on to bigger and better things. And in those bigger and better things, you know, there is just so much controversy surrounding one of this game in particular. There is a gaming YouTuber that if you watch any bit of YouTube, you know his name. Well, it's the Feuds, you know, PewDiePie. And, you know, the fact is, the guy gave a good review to a fantastic game. Yes, he was paid to give a good review, but it's still a fantastic game. Alright, he wasn't asked to push the glitches. You know something? Early release games, they're gonna have glitches. And everybody has gotten used to glitches being in just damn near every game they play nowadays. So, that really didn't have to be stressed, because there has yet to be a day one release game that was a botload full of glitches. Why? Because games are getting more complex. This is not adventure, where you are a little box in simply drawn out, you know, 8-bit or less mazes. Dear God, people, this is actually, you know, cinematic quality game, okay? The cutscenes that they put in for all the different bad guys, the captains and war chieftains, you know, their particular call-outs, all these little things, they take up computing power. Now, you know, there are going to be glitches, so anybody that expects, especially a AAA title, to come out without glitches has been asleep for the past 15 years. Because 15 years ago, 20 years ago, when games could still be found on cartridges and were encapsulated and there was no DLC, the game was the game. You got the game beginning to end. It worked. You know, game engines were smaller, game engines were simpler, game engines were not nearly as complex as they are today. And why? Because they were simpler. But now we're in 32-bit gaming. We're now into, you know, 2K, 4K quality graphics. My God, there are more pixels in an inch now than the human eye can actually perceive. So we can place detail in a picture that isn't even perceptible to the human eye.
straight through your heart.
And people are griping about what? That it gave a good review before there were honestly guidelines on this thing. You know, they're holding PewDiePie to a standard that the American legal system can't hold anyone to. Okay? The American legal system is set up in such a way that if there is a law put on the books today that says you cannot do this thing, you will go to jail for a year or more. Okay? There is a problem. If you committed the crime yesterday, then the law on the books today doesn't matter. It doesn't apply. Why? Because it's on the books today, and the crime predated the law. They cannot apply a law retroactively.
You'll get your wish if you try to get through us.
So, that's a law. Now, the FTC is not a law-making body. It's a rule-making body. And their rules state certain things, which is fine. You can expect their rules to go a certain way. But there's a problem. Even those rules really can't be applied retroactively. Okay? You cannot say, well, this is 2016 and in 2015 we put in these rules, but in 2014 you were a bad boy. Alright, the rules are established because some people need clearly laid out business practices to do the right thing. Was it right to put the disclaimer of this is a sponsored event, etc., below the fold? No, it wasn't. Does it really change the fact that it was a damn good game? Not in the least. So, why is everybody jumping on this anti-PewDiePie bandwagon? Yes, he got 5 bloody million views plus on his video reviewing Shadow of Mordor. Honestly, I really believe that he would have told them to take their money and stick it if it was a piece of shit game that he was, he was like looking at it going, you want me to take my reputation and put it to this? Alright, fine, don't really bitch about the glitches. Why? Glitches will be fixed, hopefully before day 1. Hopefully before day 1. And if they're not, they'll be found. The found ones will be dealt with as they can be dealt with. That's the whole point of patches in these excruciatingly complex games. We're not talking adventure on the Atari or Pong on the Atari. We're not talking about a Super NES game. We're talking about shit running on a PC that has tens of thousands of calculations going. That is intense. I mean, look at these combats. There's many multiples of opponents. I'm laying waste to them. They're trying to decide whether they need to hop in or whether they want to run away. And, some are being scared away. Others are being, drawn like moths to the flame for absolute love of combat. These are all based on personality archetypes of each individual orc. Now, they're not really programmed out that way. They're programmed in groups. I understand that. And that orcs that are in Category A do one thing, and Category B do another. Some are cowards, others are brave, others, are foolhardy. And that's fine, because you gotta have, archetypes to work with. Archetypes come from the fact that, personality archetypes exist. You know, because of archetypes, stereotypes exist. Because of the fact that people can be found to do many of the same things over and over and over again. It's why you can say somebody is a type A personality or a type B personality. Okay? Somebody is OCD, or pick a million other choices. So to gripe at somebody for speaking positively about, honestly, what in its time was an innovative and kick-ass game. And I say in its time because we're really, for me, it's still in its time. I love playing this game. Alright, if there's a glitch, so what? There were glitches in the Division too. It didn't stop the Division from being a pretty damn kick-ass game as well. Even though they've decided they have to nerf this and nerf that to get through the game process, the Division's another thing entirely. We're talking about Shadow of Mordor. And the Shadow of Mordor, well, there are many a thing. Many a splendid thing. There are so many things about this game that are honestly not important that he offered a positive review about a damn good game. There are a lot worse things he could do in the universe than accept money. Alright, honestly, the man's making it now. Now he's making a serious living from gaming and gaming related material. He's probably making more money per hour expended with his YouTube Red original stuff, but that is another category as well, because that is becoming the online television. Not really anymore. It's a produced television show for an online audience, for those people who are taking things on the go, which it has the distinct advantages of YouTube Red is that people can acquire really good content on the go. Okay, that's the whole point to YouTube Red originals. They can be higher production quality. They can include more stuff. Okay, it's not a big deal. So he's making money, but at the time, he's looking at the fact that he was running a business based on gameplay. That was his business. Before Maker Studios became, the critter that it is today. Before Maker Studios was even as large as it is today. There were things he was... how can I say? There were things he was involved in. Things he did. And, he made, some mistakes? Oh, find me a human that hasn't. Because I would be ever so amused to find out that there was still a Christ-like person on the planet that didn't make a whole heap of mistakes. The fact is, we hate our fellow man, we show hatred towards our fellow man. Those things are worse. Alright, he did what a sponsor asked of him. And now he knows better. Now we all know better. Why? Because the rules are now established. Because of this now muddy middle ground that is YouTube is better defined. Okay? There is so much worse in the world to worry about. But I do appreciate that the FTC has finally gotten rules that are more in line with the fact that online enterprises need to be more forthcoming with the truth in their existence. And that is fine, because it will protect the consumer. Does that mean that this is the end-all, be-all of everything? No. Just calm down, people. This is important enough that they had to, yes, establish some rules. They established the rules. Now that the rules are established, don't go expecting there to be, retroactive punishment on people who acted in a sense or a way that was less than perfect in a time where those rules did not exist. Chill out. Leave PewDiePie the hell alone. He was in the Wild West, which is what YouTube has been and still for a great deal is. There was a lawless time for YouTube. Now YouTube has tried to become the safe harbor, as it would be, for copyright and such. Does that change the fact that of its importance, of the fact that there were no real rules that were well applicable at the time, and now there are? It's not the end of the universe that there were rules that weren't adequate for the current environment. Now there are rules that are better for the current environment. Still, copyright does get abused, and guess what? Piracy is going to occur, and it's going to occur in every format that exists until there's not a way to take advantage of things, which I don't think is going to happen as long as there's a human society. That being said, I have to agree that this is a time that we could all benefit from. This is a good time in the world for us to be involved in something. We've got some guidelines to guide our hands, and let's keep it where we're doing things right, so they only have to stay as guidelines, but they only have to stay as rules, because rules can be worked with, guidelines can be worked with. When the lawmakers have to get involved, then every form of stupidity gets involved. And when I say that, I'm talking every form of stupidity. Because lawmakers, I have yet to find a country that has lawmakers that didn't find a way to screw up everything they touch. And with that being said, let it continue. Okay? I am very happy to have been part of this. This is illumANark. Peace out. Peace to you all.